Hey everyone, welcome to today's gratitude and affirmation practice. Number one, gratitude. Da, da. It is actually kind of chilly out today. So, number one, gratitude. The view's beautiful. Number two, we're doing our chia seed breakfast. I don't have my vitamin stuff in here, but that's okay. We're going to start that up soon. Number three, I'm about to go run after this. Should be pretty good. And number four, you guys, yesterday I ate the most delicious, if you guys haven't had a chance to try wild salmon, you're missing out. World of a difference. It's like having homegrown tomatoes or vegetables versus store-bought. There's some things that there's just a difference. I know, like, eggs are one thing for me. I can't really taste the difference between the store eggs and farm fresh eggs. I know a lot of people can, but like tomatoes, peppers, what are some other things? I guess carrots do taste a little bit different, but they're pretty similar to me. Peppers, tomatoes taste different. Mushrooms, wild mushrooms versus store mushrooms, different. All right, I'm gonna turn you guys around. Ba-boom. But dinner was absolutely delicious. And number five, I have to give a shout out to my salads too, because homegrown tomatoes, we got some avocado, we've got look at this. We got ground beef, seasoned ground beef, lettuce. It's delicious. Number six, you guys, I have been catching up with one of my favorite shows, The Challenge. I think I'm on, I want to say episode 6. It's been decent so far. I've been enjoying it. I was watching it while I was cooking the other day. Number 7, the other thing I've been doing for myself, a lot of this is food, but you know what? We love food. So hot chocolate. I've been doing some hot chocolate, especially I haven't done it yet for a day like today. Oh, meow meow. But the hot chocolate has been pretty nice and just homey, and you know, nothing like staring out at water with a cup of hot chocolate in your hands. Just really relaxing and enjoying it. Number 8 for the day. I will say, I had an experience with a baby squirrel the other day. He was the freaking cutest, or at least I think it's a he. Came basically right up to me. I couldn't get a video for you guys. It was just so freaking cute. And there was a deer. Of course, again, didn't have my phone on me, but just enjoyed the moment with the deer. Number 9 for the day. I had a session with a client, and this is going to tie into the message, so I'm not going to say very much. It was a great session, though. I get so excited when I can help people create foundations for themselves in which they can make healthy decisions, have more options, and be able to be in a more nurturing life for themselves. And then 10 for the day. I have to say, overall, my week's been really good. Work's been going well. It's been busy. Actually, we're not saying the B word. Clear, cancel, delete on that. It's been fulfilling. It's been fulfilling in a way that I think, I've been missing. So fulfilling. There we go. Okay, so the message of the day, going back to my client section. Have you guys ever heard of a bid for connection? So this just tickles me. We've come full circle, or I've come full circle. We will all come full circle in our cycles, right? And one of the things that I learned in writing is anything, everything is a bid for connection. What does that mean? So it's a lot easier to have empathy or understanding for animals, right? Even if an animal is lashing out, biting, kicking, whatever, there's usually quite a few common reactions like, oh, just natural instinct. Oh, like they don't know any better. Oh, it's still just an animal. Like, we have so much compassion for animals, and our compassion for ourselves, most importantly, and other humans sometimes does not follow that. There's a lot of different parameters we put both on ourselves and on other people. So a horse or a dog, pick your animal of choice that you're most familiar with, when they are lashing out and attacking and stuff, usually that's looked at as like bad behavior. Let's take a domesticated animal, right? Because, wild animals, like there is a piece of this that is in their nature. However, let's take domesticated animals, right? They've been trained or shown other ways. Maybe they haven't, but when a horse is kicking or biting, lashing out, a lot of times you'll see people, they will try and correct that. And they will, maybe hit the horse back or yank on the reins or, tell the horse no, right? That is still a bid for connection. And so what I learned is you need to lean into it, as scary as it is. Now, I'm not saying put yourself in a situation where if your horse is kicking, you get kicked in the chest or the head or whatever. No, that is not what I'm saying. But understand that when able to do so, leaning into the behavior is what actually stops the behavior, because it's actually a bid for connection. It's a bid for, it's not just attention seeking. It's trying to be in relationship with you and trying to express something that, like, that's their way of expressing it. And so I was using this in session to talk about a relationship that my client was having where someone was being hurtful when they would speak to them in words and actions, and let's just say it's a familial connection, right? Because those run a little deeper sometimes. And I was explaining to her that throughout all these different actions, it is still a bid for connection. But when we label things as, this is bad, this is being a bully, this is being toxic, this is being narcissistic, this is being whatever words you want to use, right? And, I think I talked about this in another video where I was working with someone and their horses, and I said, how does calling the horse or the situation, how does saying that the horse is a bully actually help you in any way, shape, or form? How does that help the horse? And how does it help people when we're saying all these things to them, right? And what if they know? What if they know and you're not saying anything that they don't already know? Like, they can deny it, right? But, we're pretty self-aware. We're pretty self-aware, or at least have an idea. Now, the thing about bids for connection is when you start looking at everything in your life as a bid for connection, you take yourself out of the other toxic side of that dynamic. A dynamic needs two to work. You and yourself. You and something outside of yourself. An animal, nature, another human. Recognize that we all have half of the dynamic. So when you're seeing something from a neutral spot, a bid for connection, oh, this wants to connect with me. Then you can start identifying, how do I want to connect with it? How, if this is not how I want to connect, what does that other thing need in order to connect with me the way that I desire to connect with it? And a lot of times we say, well, they should just stop doing the thing. Listen, that also might be true. But how are you holding boundaries and space, and a safe space for you to connect with it in the way that you desire? Because you're still putting a lot of emphasis on the other. It's their responsibility. It's their fault. It's this. It's their they're responsible for them. Great, but you're responsible for you. And so the first thing also is recognizing, am I in a state where I can hold safe space strongly, cleanly, consistently? If the answer is no, then my suggestion is removal from the dynamic until you can sort through your own emotions and understand, what does this other thing need? And what do I need in order to get there or stay there? I've been, ever since I learned this lesson, because I learned it pretty early on when working with horses about a year and a half ago. I started immediately taking what I was learning and riding and applying it to just life and how I approached people. And my life has never been the same. Because when we are in a state where, okay, you have a bully, right? And this bully is bullying you. When we are mirrors to the bully, right? The second half of that, maybe you're not feeding into it, but maybe it's just still continuously coming to you. Recognize that, one, it's a mirror for you to realize that, where do I not have strong boundaries around this? And where am I not holding my space in the way that I want to feel strongly? And also recognize, though, that when we continue to talk about things, when we continue, like, we still, even if we aren't reacting to what they're doing, if we're going to another person and talking about it, if we are showcasing some sort of resistance to that other person, we're still actually a part of that connection, and we're feeding into the cycle. Because what the other person is getting back, oh, that's cool. Confirmation. What the other person is getting back is also let's see if it'll do it again. Ha! Okay, I think we're done. But when we are putting up resistance, the other person is actually getting back more of the same, which is continuing the cycle because they are getting energy. If instead we actually start looking at it from a place of, okay, this person wants to connect, but I desire to connect this way. What does this person not have to give me to meet me in this type of connection? And then we can start embodying and holding the space of that need. So sometimes it does require a little bit more effort on our part. Take like an angry customer, right? There's a saying, angry customers are some of your biggest fans, or just your biggest fans. And how do you think that comes about? How could someone that is your worst customer actually become your best and most raving customer? Do you think that they just become another person? No, they're the same person. But what's happening is you're holding such space that allows them to safely change into and meet you into in the space that you would like to meet them in. Sometimes people don't have the tools for this, and we have to be the model. Sometimes they do have the tools, and it's a lot of times has to do with safety. Going back to the bully, for example, to kind of close this out about bids for connection. You tell a bully, hey, if you just stop treating people mean and being nasty to people, people would actually like you, want to be your friend. How many times have we heard this in movies? Maybe we've said this to somebody. Maybe we've said it to ourselves. If only you would just, then you can have the thing. But that is actually us perpetuating the problem. Why? Because we're saying still, and actually what it's communicating is, you do not have access to the thing. When someone does not have access to something, when they believe that it is not possible, or they have to be a certain way in order to get the thing, do you really think that they are actually going to do the thing? Do you think that the bully already knows that if they were just nicer to people, then people would like them? Yeah. But what's really going on here, if we're looking at it for as a bid for connection? There's no safety. There's no safety in being themselves. And it has less to do with vulnerability and more to do with embodiment of who they are. Because what they're being told when they say, if only you just do this, that means that they're already not accepted. And how often, and the thing is too, it's really interesting when we say statements like this, because how many times have we been mean to someone yet we're still accepted, right? This has nothing to do with like levels of how someone treats you. It has everything to do with, are you upholding the space, and are you moving from your space when that situation is going on for you? So somebody who is so solid in their safety and their presence as a person and what they want is less likely to be impacted by bullies, and more likely that when you are in the same room as a bully, they actually go to match you. It's the same thing, the restaurants and raving fans. The managers who are able to get the worst customers to be raving fans are the ones who really know how to hold their own energy and not move from their space while allowing that person to kind of sort themselves out and reorient to their space. It's also why bullies still have certain people in which they might treat everybody else like shit or crappy, but that one person, maybe it's their grandmother, maybe it's a favorite teacher at school, maybe it's the garbage man, whoever it is, that person embodies such a space that everything else kind of has to shift and orient themselves around that. And that is why we should not look to other things, or at least perpetuate the energy and the cycle of whatever we think is going on, and look at it instead like a bid for connection, because that actually takes us out of the two-way dynamic of what's going on in their world. I think I'm going to leave it there. There's a lot. If you guys have questions, let me know. I could always do a part 2 on this or clarify any pieces, areas that are unclear. But affirmation time on this lovely foggy day. Number 1, as always, I'm divinely guided and supported. I receive help, nourishment, support, and care continuously throughout my day. I'm very grateful and humbly accept this. Number 2, I love myself deeply, fully, and completely. Number 3, miracles and blessings are given to me today, throughout my day. I love to see them. I deeply desire more. I'm very grateful for them. Number 4, I own and accept and embody all of my energy at all times. There is no excess for anything else, anyone else, any environment, that it is all mine. Number 5, I've chosen so much better. I'm interacting with my deepest desires in my most delusional, amazing life at all times. Number 6, I allow myself to be happy, healthy, and in rest. Number 7, what a beautiful day to be alive. Let's claim more of what we want to experience and powerfully co-create. Number 8, I'm a person that everything works out for easily, effortlessly, quickly, with me, fully supported, nourished, happy, healthy, with in my highest favor and for the good of all. Number 9, I am love, I am joy, and I embody this and receive it back tenfold. And 10 for the day. It's okay. I give myself permission to just be and be fully myself. That is all for today, guys. Hope you're doing well. What are you grateful for? What are you affirming? How are you doing? Let me know in the comments below. I will see you guys for the next video. Love you. Bye.